if choking me is what will keep us alive in our sexual pleasures, then so be it. Let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah, she should also see her leaders, parents, psychologists, discuss it.
Hello, my lovely podcast fans. Welcome to the ListenUp Podcast. Today we're going to have a very interesting conversation. We are talking about masturbation and threesome. Today we have a new face, and I'm going to allow him to introduce himself.
Hi, I'm David Free.
Yes, and my usual guest, Amanda Karte.
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yes, so welcome guys to the ListenUp Podcast. Today we have two stories I want us to discuss and probably eventually help these people in trouble. So as I said earlier, we have two stories here that I want us to delve into. So the first story is, my husband wants me to have a threesome with our maid. He promised me a huge sum of money if I allow our maid to join us. I told him it will end our marriage, but he is still insisting that we should bring in the maid to have a threesome. And he's promised me a huge sum of money. I mean, this is really focused. Like, why would you want to promise your wife a huge sum of money just for her to, accept to have a threesome? So I want to use this story to then have a conversation on why some married couples, after they are married, bring in things that the couple is not used to. And probably think that would spice up the relationship. For example, you can see the wife is not comfortable with it, but then the husband is saying that, let's involve the maid. Maybe that would spice up the relationship. So I want us to have a conversation on that. Some of the things that some couples do that probably is not favoring the other person, but it's like, hey, this is what I want, so let's go ahead and then do it. So what would be your first impression after reading this story, Amanda?
Well, for me, I think that this is a relationship that probably started on a bad note. The foundation of this particular union is faulty. And for the woman, I don't think that you can eat your cake and have it. I don't think that you agree to marry a man that you could, it would have been easy for her to, forecast and know that this man is likely to ask me things like this in the future. So if you accepted to marry such a man, then you should bear some of these things. I don't see why she's asking for help. She's saying that her husband doesn't hide anything she does from her. It means that she even goes out to, do some other things that the man comes in to later tell her about it, and they are cool and they leave. So I don't think this is out of order for both of them, because I feel that it's something they have already built up over the years. So why is she asking for help now? So it's pointless for me.
So David, what if this is something that they never spoke about probably in their courtship, when their dating period, and then the man just springs it up on them, like, let's do this? What would be your reaction if you were the lady?
As the lady, if this is very new, I think she has to really have a discussion with her husband, because it looks like if he can come up with such a scenario, then probably if she's to turn it down, this is a person that is doing a lot outside of the marriage. Yes, but if they're both understanding and they can sit and talk about it and feel like this is what is going to help, I side with Amanda. I think this relationship, first and foremost, has a lot of issues. But then, if they can sit and discuss and realize that, okay, this works out for us, and at least we are able to keep our relationship issues together. Like, we can talk about it and then decide on things to do. Then they should go for it if it works out for them. So long as they are happy parties, not one side is in disagreement with the situation, then that works out fine with them or for them.
I don't know, I want to add this, okay, for the woman. If you are sure that you are not happy with a thing like this, then I think you need an overhauling in your this whole union of yours, because then you should expect that there's coming a time where the man will say that I'm interested in us having sex with our dog, so and I'll give you the sum of money.
Yeah,
I mean, it can proceed to that level, and so if
that is if she accepts that amount of money.
Exactly.
And
goes ahead to do this one. And I think that if she doesn't like it, then it is high time they actually address this so that they know their boundaries when it comes to exploring their sexual pleasures. Yeah, so it's something I think she should also look at.
So for me, this boils down to communication. I feel like as a couple trying to get to know each other, these are questions that we should ask. Mm-hmm. But it's like we ignore these type of questions and then it springs up in marriage and then like you're surprised. Because this reminds me of this movie 50 Shades of Grey. So it's like it's after you get married that you know that your husband wants you to do crazy things just because he wants to attain this sexual pleasure. But so right now the question I'm asking myself is why don't do married couples do that? Because they don't really tell their partners this is what they want. And then later in the marriage, they just bring it up. So like maybe your husband likes sex and he's never told you about it. Then he brings it up in the marriage.
Hey, this one, we'll call everybody into the matter somewhere. And you see, that is why it is also good that you marry a man or a woman who has a head, somebody he talks to, somebody who talks to her or somebody who talks to him, because in cases like this you have to confide in somebody so he talks to him, you have to confide in somebody so he talks to her, because sometimes you are just going crazy and you need to be like put to order, I kind of say, yeah. So sometimes you just need some advice and counsel in cases like this, because it's quite abnormal. And you see, if you hide things from me from the beginning, don't expect me to easily accommodate it. Yes, then you are gradually, trying to abuse me in the relationship, because you didn't tell me, you hid it from me, and now you want me to quickly accept it and get along with you. That's not fair. It's not fair. So yeah, we'll talk about it, but if it's necessary for us to bring in counselors and people who truly help us, I think we'll go for that.
David, do you think Amanda is right? Do you agree with her?
Yeah, I agree with her, but she keeps saying
sexual abuse.
We'll talk about it. But it gets to a point where I think it's two things. Yeah, either ending it or you are going to figure things out. You don't end it at, okay, let's talk about it and then we'll see if we can settle, or let's try something else. It gets to a point where, bro, just end everything. Because this person coming up with these things.
It's easier when you're in a relationship, David. It's easier to break away from something like that or somebody like that when you're in a relationship. But when you are married and you want to keep the marriage, you don't want to,
why do you want to keep the marriage when madness starts to pop up?
This is my point. When you want to keep the marriage, don't be too quick to quit your marriage because an issue is. Yeah, you should learn to figure things out, because
that is where sacrifice comes.
You see, you can grow in your marriage.
But this is a different level of sacrifice.
I may enter marriage with certain way of seeing things. Mm-hmm. But as time goes on, if both of us are willing to grow, talk things out, learn and unlearn things, this is how you can also grow. Okay, so you enter the marriage thinking that, you want to explore this, but you realize that no, this is not how we go about it. And so your mindset is changed. It's growth. And I think marriage is also there for us to grow in certain area, change our perceptions about certain things.
So what happens when your partner is not really on the same
And
page
that
as
is
you.
when you can break away. I mean, if it is important for you to, I mean, people have
So
divorced because
when
their
you try
husband's
everything and it
mouth
doesn't
is
work,
too
then
big.
you can eventually
Yes,
break up.
because they can't endure the pressure down there. Do you understand? So if it is fire that you cannot endure, the heat in the fire, and you have to divorce. I'm not here preaching divorce, but then I'm saying that if the fire is burning too hot and you think divorce is the option for you, I'm not here to advise you. I mean, you can be wise about it.
Okay, right. So I want to get your thoughts on something. So, what are your thoughts on married couples who maybe the woman or the man loves this whole inflict pain on me for me to have, for you to get your way, like
sweet pain?
Yes. So like choke me, spank me, handcuff me, like. What are your thoughts on this kind of thing?
That's on them. That's on the couple.
That's
if
true.
they are
It's
fine
on
with this, then yeah, that's fine.
It's on them.
First that
You see,
So long as they are not ending their
what
lives.
why you
then-
introduce in your relationship? Once both of you come to a consensus that we are enjoying this and want to go by it, you see, what will make sense in one relationship for me, what will make sense in one relationship may not necessarily work in one relationship. And so, if choking me is what will keep us alive in our sexual pleasures, then so be it. Let's go. Let's do it. You know. But if it's killing you and you are still saying choking, you are still choking, you still want to be choked, then you don't love your life.
Yeah.
And so your partner will help you die if you want to die.
Right.
So for me, if it works, fine. If it doesn't work, be wise.
David, imagine you're in a marriage like that and then your wife loves that kind of sexual pleasure and you don't. How do I going to be in that kind of marriage?
So like she said previously, communicate. You talk about it, you see if she can do without it. But if you realize it is something that you are not used to, but then there's no harm in you learning it for her, then sure.
Learn it for her how?
You are not used to inflicting those
pain,
little subtle pain. So, but you could
do it because she wants it.
Yeah. It's your woman, it's your partner. So yeah, you could just quickly go online. Everything is on the internet. Yeah, read on it and then
So David is trying to tell us that for him, he would love to go and read just to make sure he sexually satisfies his woman.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, if he has to do that, why not?
I know it.
That is nice. Okay, so let's just turn the conversation up a bit. So there's this story that I read, okay, and then both of them married as a virgin. So they felt that, okay, since we are both virgins and we want to maybe add some kind of spice to our sexual life, let's introduce pornography. So we watch pornography together, learn a few things in the movie or whatever it is, and then you both practice it. So it got to a point, they realized the pornography had gotten so much into their head, they were both not satisfied with each other. So after they've had sex, husband enters his room, turns on another pornographic movie, and then sexually pleasures himself. And the same thing the woman also does. Please, in this kind of situation, what will be your, I don't want to say advice, but your general thoughts on something like that?
You see, pornography is something that people must understand is overrated. It is not reality. Because people are taking drugs for those, scenes, those roles, because they have to be paid for it. Pornography is not real. It's overemphasized. It doesn't give you the true picture of what to expect when it comes to sex. And so if that is what you want to resort to, okay, then you are just calling for doom, and that is what is happening in this particular situation where they are not getting satisfied and they have to go privately after to watch whatever you know. So there are things you just don't play with. There are things you don't have to introduce in your marriage. And of course, there is room for the two of them to realize that, you know what, we probably made a mistake making pornography the standard for us. And so let's quit and probably seek counsel and do what we have to, or do what we have to do better. In that case, I'm sure they can deal with it, because I have seen on Instagram before where a couple was, advising that it wasn't good. Apparently, they had also introduced porn in their marriage, and they realized it wasn't helping. So the man came out to talk about it. I'm sure he's a figure when it comes to I think he's into ministry. He's a man who is into ministry. So he came out to actually be open about it, and people were glad that he opened up and all that. It's not good. It won't help any relationship, because it's not real. It's not real.
So, David, in this situation, both of them are secretly masturbating to attain sexual pleasure or orgasm or whatever it is. Do you think masturbation is something that should be encouraged in a marriage?
I don't believe so, because with this story that we are talking about, right? From the onset, you introduced porn into your relationship because you wanted to spice up things, right?
Because they are both beginners.
Right. Which is fair. Let's say, it's okay, you want to learn and then please each other. Okay, right. But then now you guys take it to the next level where you have to go back privately, individually, and go and watch that same porn. So from the beginning, the the pleasure you guys want to study and give each other, no? What happened there? Exactly. So it means you guys can actually do without sex at this point and just go and visit porn and sort out yourselves. So yeah, that's it. So I think the plot has been lost. You guys wanted to please each other. That's why you started learning with porn. So let it end there. It shouldn't proceed to privately. Yeah, I think there's an issue there when you have to resort to watching porn alone. Yeah. It's all lost in there.
You can also confine in leaders who would open up to you. Because I'm not sure that if I'm a counselor, that's the problem. That's the problem. But if you're fortunate enough to find somebody who can open up to you, then I'm sure they can advise that maybe porn shouldn't be your go-to resource. Okay, so it helps in that manner. You haven't had sex before, you are expectant of doing that when you get married. There are materials, there are people you have to talk to about the fact that you've not done it before. Is porn the right material to get? So that talk to people, don't just put your mind on just one material, because porn is just out there, talk to people so that you can get the right.
Okay, so let me ask this question. Is it fair that, as a married couple, maybe you probably in the mood to have sex, but your partner is not? Is it fair that you can enter your room and then masturbate and then feel okay with that?
I can't say it is fair. I can't say it
but
is
you
fair
are depriving your partner from
I can't say
his should I say duty.
But is it possible? I wish there's a couple here we can, is it possible that...
it does happen.
No, I want to ask a question. Is it possible that I am not in the mood, my husband is in the mood, I'll just lie there for him to penetrate, just lie there for him to... You won't be engaging because you are not in the mood.
And you think...
Just so that
you think the
man
might he get pleasure from that?
Exactly.
I don't.
But I understand you, the men, once you are up, you just want to enter somewhere. So I want to help you enter somewhere.
Hey, but that's the wrong number. That's the wrong thought. No, sex is not just about entering somewhere. Yeah, it's the whole... Oh, I've read a lot, so I know a lot. Yeah. You need both parties being involved in it. So yeah, you can't tell me like I'm just going to lie down and then.
So how about those guys who go like, oh, the me friendship, I'll put it inside, I'll put it at the end, like at the tip. So sometimes it makes me feel like sometimes you just want to touch something, or you just want to enter and come. You just want to enter and come out.
Right.
Because otherwise, why do you make some statement like, oh, I won't push it in, I'll just the tip. So it means that just the tip also has a way of satisfying you.
Please, is that
so
true?
I'll just
this question is over me.
Can you just explain just addictive? Like,
I wouldn't know, cause I think we are all different. We are not all the same. It's like some women I've read. Someone wants to like way deep. Someone who is just fine with some just a little push, and then she's okay. Yeah. So I think with the men too, someone is just satisfied with the tip. Someone too is satisfied with the whole entry. So it differs.
In a marriage, there's one party who like I want to masturbate to be sexually or with an orgasm or something.
I want to believe when your partner is away for long, and you still want to have your way.
Have your way.
For me, I think it will be one, or if you are in a relationship where, or you are married, people get married and become enemies at home. They don't do anything, they don't talk anymore. They are just living as human beings. They don't talk, they don't engage each other. So I think a man who finds himself in that situation and is so much on heat at a particular point in time and he can't go out to meet maybe any of his babies out there or side chicks out there, they want to do that.
So would you prefer your partner it's a bad thing to being at home and masturbating, or you would prefer he goes out there and go and cheat?
Madam, what do you prefer?
To both of you, because
I think no one is going to. Okay, well, people are weird. People are different. Someone might say, "Sure, go out there, go and do what you want. Just come home to me." Like very diverse things we keep hearing.
And add condom.
Right, but then
condom.
I don't know.
If it gets to that point,
Diane, honestly, that's a difficult question to answer. Yes,
to me, there's no difficulty in this. Outside, yes, out of the question. How will you go out
so
when
you won't go and cheat on your wife? You rather get some Chinese.
The masturbation bits, that one we would talk about it, but then as for outside the marriage, then no, that's out of the question.
That's true. That's
it. You're not the only person in the relationship anymore. He's not going to be, or she's not going to be with just one person out today. Or when that person is no more, what happens? He's going to find a new person. She's going to find a new person. Then the relationship becomes a very open one where there are several partners in there.
What of the introduction of sex toys in marriage and relationship? I know some people do that.
Yeah, if both parties are cool with it, why not?
Talking about this threesome thing, I mean, instead of you getting an extra woman, an extra man, you'd be like, oh baby, this doodle, just use it, play around it.
What the things people do to keep their marriages there
right.
is
the extreme.
Lot, People do. But if
whatever works for a relationship, me that's my own. If it's going to, you guys want to add this or that, but then you're going to be faithful, you're going to stick together forever, then why not? Do you, so long as once again you're not killing each other, then sure. But then when you are being secretive, you are keeping things away from each other, that's where there is a lot of danger. Because once your partner finds out, okay, what happens next? Do they dump you, or do they stay, or are they? That's it. You could lose their trust forever because you're doing something in a relationship with them and they never knew about it. So, right.
So what if you?
I also say too much of everything is bad, okay? And so if you want to use sex toys, you shouldn't abuse it to the point where now you make it a substitute. If your husband is not there, no, you quickly want to. Now, even when your partner is there, your wife or your husband is there, you want to go by it. Like you can, you may want to do that for some small exploration. Okay. And
doesn't that also time as you cheating on your partner? If you want to.
No, this is something you want to do together.
Or even with that, don't you think it builds up to addiction?
Yeah.
Oh, small,
That's
oh,
what I'm
small,
saying.
oh, small. Then small becomes consistently small. And now,
That's true.
yeah.
That's true, but it is also the reason I said we shouldn't abuse things. You should be wise about it. If you want to, use the sex things, you should be wise about it.
So the reason I kept chipping in this whole masturbation thing was that I read a sting story, and then there was this girl who said she had sex with her ex-boyfriend and then got infected. So then right now she feels like instead of her getting a new boyfriend and getting off sexual, she prefer to masturbate or get a sex toy to pleasure herself than to go into a different relationship. And right now she feels she's become an addict and she wants to stop. She needs help, but she can't. That's why I kept on bringing in this whole masturbation story in the conversation. So with this scenario, if you probably want to advise the young girl, what are you going to tell her?
I don't know her status when it comes to religion, but if you have tried the physical, medical means and it's not working, enter spiritually. Like, see God, seek some spiritual intervention. When I say spiritual intervention, I mean if it will be necessary for you to actually intentionally pray for healing. It's possible, because you can't be in this forever. I'm not sure she wants to be in this forever. And so if she can actually seek divine intervention, she should do that. She should do that, because nothing is too big for God to do.
So, David, Amanda is saying, "Kabe unto the Lord for God to heal you." What do you think? Do you agree with Amanda that she should get on her knees and pray? Or
prayer is the master key. That's it. Yeah, but she should also see her leaders, parents, psychologists, discuss it, and because you can't just masturbate your way out. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. I agree. You can't your way out.
Yeah, so that's my take.
okay, so in wrapping up, let's just probably think a bit on some of the negative impacts masturbation has on individuals generally.
Addiction is the ultimate, and of course, when you get addicted to masturbation, it's just not a good place to be. I'm sure we can all attest to the testimonies people have given about, being delivered from that and the freedom it comes with. If you become a chronic masturbator, I don't know if there is a word like that. If you become so addicted, I'm sure it takes you to the point where you feel like you are in bondage, and probably the enemy has also taken over your life and all that. So for me, addiction. Bad addiction. Bad addiction.
Yeah, addiction is very right. You tend to forego responsibilities. Like, let's say you're a student, you probably use 10 hours to study. 5 hours of that, you are thinking of going to sort out yourself and all. So the addiction isn't a little. It's not a small issue. Yeah, and also being addicted, it affects your relationships. Yeah, because you are used to the toys, you are used to pleasing yourself. So, what exactly is your partner can't give you that you can't give yourself? So that's going to affect that.
Great. Okay, so thank you, David. I hope you enjoyed today.
Yeah, I did. Most welcome.
So thank you, David and Mandy. God willing, we'll be seeing more of David, right?
No problem.
So thank you, guys. This has been the ListenUp Podcast. Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think of threesomes? What do you think of masturbation? Share your thoughts, your experiences in the comment section. My name is, and always, Miss D.